All right, we've got the red Terran player. It's going to be NsHoSeo.Sculp in the bottom left corner of Antiga Shipyard. Way up here in the top right, we have JonnyREcco playing for Dignitas as the pink Zerg. He's already taken out 3 Korean players on NsHoSeo. Can he get any more?
I think it's possible. I mean, he's obviously put up pretty good performance so far, but Sculp, you know, very good player as well. He's picked Antiga Shipyard at his map, which is one of the better TVZ maps in the pool. Terrans, you know, like to cling to this as like the one Terran map in the map pool, so to speak.
Yep. Similar
to Ohana and Tuned being Protoss maps, and Daybreak being a Zerg
and
map.
Everything else being Zerg apparently,
yeah.
since there's only a couple for the other 2.
Yeah. But Daybreak is the one that Zergs love. But yeah, this is definitely the Terran map, and we'll see what Sculp decides to go with on this map.
Yep, it's possible that he may go for some more aggression, although that didn't really work out for Salvation. Salvation had some kind of clunky attacks overall in that game on Ohana. Like his bunker attack didn't really get much work done. The attack after that basically got surrounded and squashed pretty handily. And JonnyREcco since then has just been staying on top of his macro, staying very good about base defense. He held the first Dark Templar that came in pretty well.
And the Maka racks.
Yeah, so but no other racks.
No other racks, so it looks like he's setting up for an expand.
Oh, there it is.
Okay, so it is a 2 racks.
Yeah, but why even bother building it over here?
Yeah, that's going to be seen by that Overlord. I don't know if he knew the scouting path, but both these Rexes are going to get seen immediately, and now JonnyREcco is like, bro, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, you might as well just proxy at my natural if you're going to give me that much time to scout it and respond to it. So the hatchery is going to go up first. There's no spawning pool here yet for JonnyREcco. I'm assuming the next 200 minerals will definitely go to that.
That's a super greedy build.
Yep.
6 was 15 hatch, 16 spawning pool.
Yeah.
And against 2 racks, that's usually a little risky, but he's actually slowed down the production of that second rack so that he'll be he's actually going to get it. Wow.
All right, the drone scores the SCV kill and keeps Sculp kind of on his toes. Sculp could actually stop building this and just turn and jab at him. Yeah, he actually does. Now that there's a Marine out, this drone is not long for this world. He is going to build an extractor.
Tricky JonnyREcco.
There's really no point even for that. Like
it's just
it's going to be so impossible for him to get out of here.
He's just jabbing at him.
He's delaying though quite a lot.
And the 2 racks now is super late, and there's almost no point to this. I mean, he's going to have Lings out and maybe even a Spine Crawler finish by the time the Marines and SCVs get over there. Yeah, starts the Spine Crawler.
And Queen immediately.
And Queen. I mean, this is going to do almost nothing.
Well, this is different than the game on Ohana, obviously, because it's only 1 SCV with Marines actually following up. There's a second SCV, but basically Salvation built the bunker early enough where JonnyREcco could just pull a ton of drones and try to deal with it, but this time he doesn't even need to do that because he will have so many Lings available. Yeah, you can see the Marines already turning around, or at least clumping up and waiting to be a more cohesive force. That second SCV is going to show up now, but with these Lings, Spine Crawler, and Queen already out, any bunker that's close enough to matter is going to get taken out really easily.
Yeah, as soon as he comes up here, I mean, the Lings obviously aren't going to do anything, but when you see the Queen and the Spine Crawler, there's nothing for him to do with this. He should just go home.
Yeah, I mean, he can continue. He can sit out here, obviously, because the Queen and Spine Crawler are not going to be able to really push quickly. He can sit out here for a little bit to try and contain and make sure that no third base goes up. You can see the SCV heading over there just to verify that. There are a handful of Marines. I mean, he could still attack in. They are still filing in, but we'll see if JonnyREcco should be able to defend this with what he's got.
Yeah, and Sculp is doing the smart thing. He expanded pretty quickly behind this, so he's getting his natural while he's putting on this pressure. And JonnyREcco is still making a few Lings, not too many, just to be safe in case more. Oh wow, now he's going 4 more Lings, so he's building quite a few Lings just to be safe.
Yep.
I guess that's smart considering he doesn't really know exactly what Sculp is doing. He hasn't scouted him fully. Just kind of posturing with these Marines.
Well, as long as JonnyREcco doesn't move off his creep, this literally isn't really doing a whole lot other than delaying that third. So obviously JonnyREcco wants to take a third, and obviously wants these Marines out of here.
Sculp actually is going up to a third base super quickly. So he is just posturing with his Marines. Yeah, no gas. He just went straight for a third base before even going for a geyser. It's kind of Tasia-like in a way, getting that super quick third. And he's built in as natural just to get set. Oh, Wow.
He's building command centers all over the place. He says, I can contain.
4 CC, so perfect contain. And, d.JonnyREcco has had enough. Baneling Nest coming up to deal with this.
Wow, I'm really surprised Sculp chose right now to actually move in here. There's kind of no indicator that I saw that said that that would be a good idea. Spinecaller getting a lot of damage in, and these 2 queens, of course, with their crazy good range, are going to kill a handful of these Marines, but pretty good control from Sculp, keeping the bulk of those Marines alive. These Lings are not going to be able to finish these off, most likely, without the help of the queens. Yeah, here's a couple of reinforcements.
All right,
and
so they do get...
finally,
and now Sculp is vulnerable because this is an all-in.
Yeah, he's got several barracks building now to wall off this natural completely.
Wow, it looked like an all-in, and they just built 9 more drones. That's very strange. He went for the Baneling Nest and built a bunch of Lings, and then he just like, oh, well, I guess I'm just going to drone up.
He's gonna take this base. Yeah, he's got enough minerals. He can really catch up pretty quickly.
But he does 4 CCs, all of them going to be orbitals. That's a lot of income for Terran to have 4 orbitals this early in the game.
That's true, but he still has not harvested any gas the entire game. He's reaching the 9-minute mark now before these refineries are even done.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane. So d.JonnyREcco is going to go up to 3 base, but he's actually going to need more than that. He's building 10 drones at a time, which is a lot, but 4 orbitals of mules. Like, you never even see 4 orbitals till super late game usually in TVZ, and he has 4 orbitals before the 9-minute mark.
Well, he's going to have a ton of minerals, but he's not going to have very much tech. He's down in harvesters by quite a lot.
Yeah, almost 20.
He's going to be way behind.
So he actually is preparing for an all-in also.
Yeah, I would if I had a mineral only build 9 minutes in.
Yeah. So getting bunkers to try to be safe in case it was a baneling bust, and it looked like it. But he's going to be pretty safe behind this fully barracks walled base.
Yeah, a couple of Marines and SCV are not so safe, but that's okay. Obviously, the ones behind will take care of business. But yeah, I think d.JonnyREcco honestly could just make a bunch of Banelings and win this game.
He probably could have if he knew exactly how greedy this build was, but he obviously does not quite. Getting melee upgrades and a macro house. Now he's building drones 12 at a time.
Look how close this is happening.
I know. I can't.
He can actually see the glimmer. And the minerals there.
If he noticed, but he'll never see them.
No, of course not. Oh, he just clicked something else over into the sky there, so I don't know.
Yeah, if he sees that, though, he'll be able to take that out pretty easily in that base while not fully saturated. He does have some SCVs over there and obviously some mules.
Yeah, he's dropping several mules. Obviously, you just grab a mineral line and then you hotkey all your orbitals, so you can just drop them all at once if you so desire. Here are some Banelings already for d.JonnyREcco. Does not have his lair done yet, so centrifugal hooks cannot be researched just yet.
I'm pretty sure he's going to start it as soon as he gets it, though. He's building, it was, I think, 20 more Lings, now 10 more about to pop out. He'll have 1-1, and then he's going to try to do some damage. Stim and Combat Shield both on the way, but not done. He's actually going for Infestors, so he's not getting centrifugal hooks right away. I know we will see it eventually when he's, committed to Banelings this much. There it is right there.
All right.
So he's going to have to do some damage to slow down Sculp, though, because 4 base versus 3 base Zerg is not where you want to be as a Zerg player.
That is a big pocket of Marines. I have to imagine that actually some Baneling landmines might actually be really effective on this game, just because he is so slow to tech, and he is spending all his gas on bio upgrades as it is, not actually moving in toward Hellions or tanks. Just
now getting Starport, so he's not going to have medevacs for a little bit, and he is about to see this, and I can imagine the stream of Lings.
Oh, God.
The stream of Lings that are going to go up there as soon as he sees this.
Yep, so many mules just got exposed.
Immediately, there we go. He's like, oh, wow, I didn't realize.
This could be really bad for the Marines here of Sculp if they come and follow up on these Lings and all the Banelings. No, actually, they're headed home.
I'm very curious of that, but he is going to clean up most of these Marines in the
definitely.
mule.
He's going to focus the mules first, obviously, and the orbital must lift. So Sculp, nice try. Obviously didn't last too long, but that's okay. His income definitely was benefiting for a while.
Even with all those mules not mining, he's still higher income, and he actually has about an equal number of SCVs to drones. I mean, he's down by about 15, but with how much d.JonnyREcco is droning, it's not that bad.
I really want to see this and this.
And hooks are about to finish right now.
Oh, wow. Perfect timing for this engagement. He does actually get all these Marines sandwiched between a ton of Lings. Man, no other units
Marines.
All the Marines go down of Sculp. This orbital can just continue floating. It's not going to be mining anything for a while anyway. This third base suddenly is looking to be in a little bit of trouble if this counterattack streams right in. It looks like it might.
That's a lot of units, and even while this is going on, d.JonnyREcco is going for Brood Lords. He's going for Hive already with Spire. Not the earliest, but this is going to do a ton of damage. Kills the bunker with a Baneling. Baneling's going into the mineral line. He's going to kill a lot of SCVs. Oh, wow, a lot went down. He killed all of those Marines as well, and he might get a tank to finish off this little push. A lot of damage done there, actually taking a 20 supply lead, killed 19 workers.
Yep, so that is going to put JonnyREcco up by 20 harvesters total. Let's just keep income tab up for a second. You can see even with those orbitals, you know, this one's flying around, so he's not going to be able to drop any mules. So even with the mules going, JonnyREcco is still firmly ahead, working now off of fourth base. In just a moment, he'll be, you know, saturating that up. You can see a big line of lings. I thought those might have been drones headed over there, but no, just lings. He's going to just drone up from here.
A lot of lings on the way, though.
Yep, and a hive is basically done now. There it is, so he can start to get that greater spire going immediately.
Adrenal glands.
And adrenal glands.
And he's going to start the 3-3 immediately afterwards as well.
So all this timing's hitting very nicely here at around the 15-minute mark, working off of 4 bases plus a macro hatch, 9 creep tubers at a time. So this spread is going to get insane here as we continue on. And obviously that's amazing when you're getting lots and lots of these zerglings, these speedlings, to just fly across the map. And once this assault starts, they can reinforce very, very quickly.
Yeah, JonnyREcco is well ahead of his opponent in upgrades. Just now, 2-2 is, you know, getting researched, and Tech +1 is getting researched as well. Finally, the tanks and the medevacs are coming, but he's a little bit behind. Gonna do a drop over here on the 4th, and at the same time trying to do a drop on the 3rd.
He's gonna go right over it.
He's gonna go right over it and see. He sees both the drops. I think this one at the 5th is gonna get cleaned up relatively easily. He already has lings there. Yeah, Sculp not even gonna try. Just gonna try his luck in the natural instead. And again, the Spore Crawl in perfect position. That's gonna kill them. Oh.
One Marine gets dropped.
One Marine, and the Queen can just take that out of itself. And there we go. Again.
Spore Crawler placement is incredibly good here for JonnyREcco.
Yeah.
He's doing really good base defense. Obviously, Sculp is going to find this. He flew that medevac over the top. He probably doesn't need to send all these lings to go deal with that, but he will anyway. I'm assuming when he comes back, he's probably going to want to morph some banelings, but he is spending all of his gas right now on those broodlords.
Yeah. And he has so many, 44 more lings coming, and now this is looking like a pretty scary army for JonnyREcco, almost maxed. And when he actually does finally get maxed, he's going to want to make something happen before he lets Sculp get maxed, because Sculp is approaching that 200 food army as well.
These siege tanks are going to be very, very valuable for Sculp as this game goes on, obviously with this gigantic number of lings and all of the broodlings that will be hitting the field here soon. JonnyREcco really can just continue swarming forward with those zerglings, but the tanks are going to be the great equalizer here. Already a handful of kills on both of those.
Yeah, he doesn't have an answer to the broodlords, though. He hasn't even started Viking production. He doesn't have ghosts either.
Yep.
There's pretty much no way for him to deal with this, and there's just so many lings that Marines alone are not going to be able to take out the broodlords.
If these banelings actually get a good hit.
Not as bad as it could have been for Sculp, but still pretty good for JonnyREcco. He's sending up
drones.
Oh no!
They just walk into the grinder.
All right, but he is going to have lings that are going to be able to. Oh, maybe he won't clean it up as easily. Sculp taking good position. He'll go through quite a few of these lings, but they will be able to clean that up.
That's right, and while that was going on, the broodlords were attacking some stationary targets, some sensor towers, and bunkers actually getting taken out incredibly easily. But look at all these tanks from Sculp that he has not been using this whole game. Just been waiting back with these, but there are about 50 kills.
Oh, he's on siege right now with the lings.
Oh, fungal as well.
That was good fungal, but the lings just a split second too late.
Yeah, so siege tanks are actually blasting down their own Marines. That is, of course, the risk you run when broodlords are on the field, because they can drop broodlings all over your own forces, and they're also low health from stimming and getting shot by the tanks. That fungals are just destroying them extremely quickly. These corruptors don't really have anything to do now, as the bulk of the ground force has been eliminated. These tanks barely standing. One more fungal would actually take out a few of those, but these infestors just hightail it out of there. There's still some energy on those guys, though, so they will be useful again here very soon. Otherwise, just remaxing on zerglings at the time being, and 4 more broodlords in production.
Yeah, JonnyREcco, though, lost almost his entire army except for the corruptors, so he has to try to remax pretty quickly, making a ton of lings, but he needs to get his army together before these tanks get in position to take out one of his bases, because that's always the worst part if you're a Zerg player, when you get people disrupting your rallies and you can't get your army big enough.
Oh, here we go. More Lings running in. These are going to draw a lot of fire from the siege tanks. Again, doing a lot of damage to the Marines on the ground.
Yeah, you think he got 3 or 4 siege tanks forcing the unsiege, and he forced Sculp to back up to his 4th base. The fact that this is an orbital rather than a planetary will probably come into play because it's going to be a lot easier to siege for JonnyREcco than it would have been otherwise. That's
right. He does have a handful of Broodlords and a lot of Corruptors still standing, so this is kind of reminiscent of the previous game where he had 21 Broodlords. He's not at that number just yet. It looks like he is actually investing a lot more in Lings to be able to, you know, draw fire from these siege tanks while the Broodlords help get into position. Obviously, it draws fire away from those valuable infestors and their fungal as well. If you can catch clumps of Marines or even of these tanks, if all the tanks siege up together, for example, fungal can be incredibly good against them. Obviously, it does more damage against armored units. Don't forget that lovely aspect. And some Banelings morphing in now. I'm not sure they're actually going to get much chance to get in here. Yeah, so he's actually going to ward them away. The Banelings might have a chance now that the tanks are on siege.
I am wondering why he's still not making Viking production at all. Like, he had that 1 Viking, and that's been it. You need something to do with these Broodlords. Wow, and huge tank splash killing a bunch of Marines. Another tank going down to the Broodlings. Another one just went down, and now he's probably going to get in here, disrupt the... Oh, he fungals all those SCVs. That Baneling gets in, though, it didn't quite. He still killed a ton of them. Sculp on the back foot now as JonnyREcco going in. Look at all those Corruptors.
Yeah, the Corruptors obviously narrowing down that Orbital Command's health very quickly. Here comes a nice fungal and Siege Tank Splash helping, trying to kill down the Broodlings. They were helping kill the Marines, in fact, but these tanks are getting lower and lower. Ultralisk Cavern is coming up now for JonnyREcco, but I don't really know if he's going to need it, as he is actually pinning Sculp in on only 3 bases at the moment. Soon, minerals are going to become an issue. Yeah, and all that splash still
look at those
big fungals, man, on all these Marines. That's what happens when you build so many of these fragile units, man.
I just don't, it's like Sculp just doesn't know how to beat Broodlords. Like, there it is, GG, like, no Vikings, just no anti-air at all other than Marines, and it's like, all right, well, I'll keep throwing 3-3 Adrenalines at you.